Can I ask the Vice Chancellor and our keynote speaker to take their seats, please? Thank you. I'll now ask Maria Hassam to garland our chief guest. Thank you very much, Maria. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I know it's a bit of an early start, so appreciate you coming here nice and early to the 2017 Learning Teaching Forum. My name is Richard Cole. For those who don't know me, I'll be your MC today. On the program we have, before morning tea, we'll begin with the opening address by the Vice-Chancellor, and then we'll have the acknowledgement of the Faculty Teaching Excellence Award winners and the announcement of the VC's award winner for the overall Teaching Excellence Prize. And then I will introduce the keynote speaker, Dr. Wayne McIntosh, who will give his presentation. We'll have a break for morning tea. And after that, we'll have student presentations, staff presentations, and then lunch. And that will be the formal end of the program. So I'd like to invite the Vice-Chancellor to give his introductory remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. And I do hope that some of you at the back will come up to the front. I just leave the impression of very open spaces. Our chief guest and the keynote speaker for this year's Vice Chancellor's Forum on Learning and Teaching, Dr. Wayne McIntosh, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Learning, Teaching, and Student Services, and the Forum Chair, Professor Richard Cole. We have Dr. Sanjay Mishra from the Commonwealth of Learning, members of senior management, Pro Vice Chancellor, Flexible Learning, and Director for the Center for Flexible Learning, Professor Som Naidu, the recipients of the faculty prizes and the Vice Chancellor's Prize for Learning and Teaching, staff and students, and ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to extend a very warm welcome, or join Richard in extending a very warm welcome to all of you to this, which should really be our signature event for learning and teaching. And I'd like to extend a very special welcome to you, Wayne, to the university, and say how privileged we are to be able to listen to your innovative ideas about how to make learning and teaching more sustainable, and the universities themselves more sustainable for the future. As I thought about what I do this morning, because many of you have heard me nearly from when we began, I thought that I would go back a little bit to when we started and look at what we were saying, and I hope it does emerge that in 2009 we were talking about open education resources. And then I'll go and look at the sorts of things that we have tried to prioritize in our learning and teaching, and the kind of people and the topics that we have selected each year, and how all of these are actually building up to where we are wanting to go. So after I finish that, I'll make reference to the opening remarks for the first forum, which was in 2009 actually. The prize started in 2010, but the forum began in 2009, and we can have a look at a few things. Then I will make some reference to the remarks I made in 2010, that reinforced in much stronger terms what we expected the university to be doing in the next phase of the university. And then towards the end, I want to highlight for you just a few things which I feel, having seen this journey over a longer period and knowing very much where the world is going in the world of learning and teaching, and enveloped or engulfed by digital transformation, all sorts of pressures. Where should USP be aiming for? So just that, and I hope to do that in 15, 20 minutes. So when I took up the position in 2008, and this is setting the context of why we have done many of the things, the university was actually in a very difficult position. It was facing financial deficits. There were scandals around the university. The reputation of the university was shaken up. The confidence of the university was shaken up. And people were, long-standing people at USP were unsure about where does USP fit as a university with the emergence of national institutions. And we have very short memories, but I remember reading an Island Business article with the heading, Going, Going, Gone. And it was about USP. Because the general impression in Island Business was that with national universities, USP had lost its value. In that situation, and faced with financial difficulties, governments being critical of the university, donors not wanting to give money, I announced very major restructuring of the university. And not just about solving the financial problem, which was easy. I also realized that it's easy to solve a financial problem. That doesn't serve the university well, or any university well. So I wanted really to use that opportunity for deep, fundamental reform and restructuring of the university. And I think we are still continuing in that path. So we conceived of what sounded like a deep fundamental change, which was the strategic total academic review, which was essentially saying all of our learning and teaching should go back to zero base, and we look at what kind of program should we have, how should we structure those programs, what kind of graduates should we produce, all of those very fundamental things. They were not incremental things. So in 2009, I introduced the Vice Chancellor's Forum as an attempt to give learning and teaching importance from the highest level of the university. And since its introduction, I have always attended and given the opening remarks as the prerogative and the responsibility of the Vice Chancellor to take interest in the most important thing the university does. Except for 2015 and 16, when unfortunately the scheduling of this and the Pacific Island Leaders Forum conflicted, and we are all required to be at the other one, and I'm sure we have very competent people at the university to take care of it. Here. In 2009, I invited Professor Richard Larkins from Monash University, and at that time the president of University of Australia, to come and give us our first lecture on keynote presentation on the type of learning and teaching we wanted to have. Now, at that time, I made some remarks, and I want to just go back and pick up just a few remarks about what I thought in 2009 we ought to be doing. And basically, you will see that that is all reflected in the strategic plan 2010 to 12 as a precursor to the current strategic plan. But I just want to emphasize just how relevant many of those things are as we grapple with where we want to go today. One, creative and critical thinkers, knowledgeable and well-informed people, motivated and independent learners. But I want to come to the one I want to highlight, where we said then that open educational resources are very important. We wanted to put emphasis on quality. We need constant feedback. We need external validation. We needed a culture of quality. We needed that total academic review. We wanted to focus on students, want to wean away our students from spoon feeding through the schools, wanting to make our students read, because even then we were worried about them learning, reading. We wanted them to have learning among themselves, and we wanted them to use open learning resources. So this has been in the mind of the university for, and of course I'm just quoting that there are many things we said before where we bring this out. So in some ways, when I go through that, you will see that the essence of where we want to go has been defined for a long time. It's been just our ability to implement some of those things. We've always been a university that has exploited technology, and we could never have succeeded without that. So here is the ambitions about regaining our leadership in the use of technologies, deepening use of Moodle, emphasis on regional campus, consistency of learning and teaching, fast-tracking online conversions, etc. Aligning our infrastructure to the vision of learning, taking into account the cultural context and importance of reflective practice, creating learning communities by sharing all our innovation, focus on modern and meaningful assessment, which I still feel we have not gone far enough into, using assessment as a tool of that. Staff development we focused on the other day, bringing world of work and learning together, institutional research where we have not unfortunately progressed very much. So that's what we said in 2009. And then in 2010 we really had the prize, and we began a much stronger push for things. Now, I just need to bring up the 2010 presentation. Point by point, we have made a lot of advance since then, because the Senate at its last meeting approved the learning and teaching policy. And I think that one of the comes student success. That's what member countries are always talking about. So it's very important for us to look at that. Cascade from the strategic plan to the teaching and learning policy, which Senate has approved, then into the plans of faculties and the university as a whole. And of course, we'll keep on changing it. But for the moment, these are the main areas. And we have the very difficult task of making sure that the attributes that this vision anticipates are actually built into all of our courses and programs in very systematic and measurable ways. I just want to focus a little bit on some of the things that are in the plan, and some of them indicate areas in which we need to think. The quality, relevance, and sustainability, of course, is there all the time. To filter and to make available to all our staff a great deal of learning materials that are available to us free of charge.
the university has made a major commitment to open educational resources. And CFDL has a unit now to acquire, to filter, and to make available to all our staff a great deal of learning materials that are available to us free of charge. To give you an indication of what USP can access, as part of the visit to India that we made, one institution, the Indian Institute of Technology in Kharagpur, has given us access to 200 video recorded lectures free of charge. It's up to us to use what we need. That's only from one institution. So there's a whole lot of material that is there.
Okay, so we'll leave that. Just want to mention we moved on from that time. In 2011, Professor McPhee came from Melbourne. He's the person who had overseen Melbourne's adoption of the American 4-year curriculum. And he talked about thinking about teaching better, 4 challenges for universities. The following year, we were concerned about success of first-year students. So Professor Sally Kift came from James Cook and talked about a transition pedagogy for first-year student success. The following year, we had Dave Cormier, who is credited with coining the term MOOC, and he talked about the new learner towards a pedagogy for abundance. The following year, we were very fortunate to have Vijay Kumar from MIT, who made a riveting presentation on opening up new insights for educational innovation and opportunity. And for 15, unfortunately, I missed 15 and 16. Mr. Philip, Dr. Philip Gardner from Michigan State University spoke on nurturing innovation and entrepreneurship. So we've been concerned about entrepreneurship and inculcating those things in our graduates. And last year, we had Professor Michael Sankey, Director of Learning Environment in Media at USQ, who spoke on No Man is an Island in Technology Enhanced Learning, even if you live on an island. Okay? So I think we have been building up from that, and today, when Dr. McIntosh speaks to us about the innovation that is represented by Open Education Resources University, in a way, we have built up our effort towards exploiting open education resources, but it also picks up the theme about the fact that we all have to change the way we do our business in universities, and learning and teaching is a very, very core element of our business. Now, yesterday, we spent a long time in senior management just reviewing how we have come along from 13 to 17 in terms of the visions that we had set earlier and then concretized in the strategic plan. And basically, we thought that we will need to make much more speedy progress on measuring elements of our learning and teaching. If something is important, we need to know, we need to measure, and we need to reward and incentivize those sorts of things. So clearly, we will be looking to ensuring that we have very good learning metrics, whole range of things that are important, and using that in a continuous cycle of improvement. We talked about the importance coming out of that of analytics becoming a very major part of the university's planning and doing, because it's not just to be used in planning, and analytics is something that should inform all our business. We also talked about the importance of learning about our learning. Okay? Some people have raised this question, and we have raised that question in 2009. I raised that question. how much do we know about the specificity of Pacific Islanders as learners? And how confident are we that of all the universities that have Pacific students, we are the ones who learn, who know the most about their style of learning? There's a whole area of learning science that is going on. And so as we reflect on where we want to go for 2019 onwards, there will be a very strong focus on us knowing more than University in Auckland or Wellington or elsewhere, because that is our claim, that we are the University of the South Pacific. We understand our students much better. We therefore customize our learning and teaching to that much better than anybody else. And if we can't prove that, then I think it removes the credibility around what we often say, that we are the best students for Pacific students. We are best university for Pacific students. Now, we had tried to get some work done with the University of Hong Kong, but it didn't really come through to anything. Finally, and I know we're all waiting to listen to Wayne, so this is my final point. That we, although we have an advantage and reputation in handling our ICTs, we are not sufficiently alive to just the extent of disruption that digital technologies are causing around the world. Okay? And not just disruption, but the tremendous opportunities that digital transformation offers to an institution like USP, which has already got a reputation of being at the cutting edge of using technology for effective learning and teaching, for giving people access to learning and teaching. So we'll be looking to see how we can use some degree of artificial intelligence, some degree of automation, and how we can free ourselves to focus on the top end of imagination, of real innovation. Because the world will belong to people who can think imaginatively, who can create things, who are more creative than others, and who are more agile than others. And that really is the challenge for our learning and teaching, as it is the challenge for the university as a whole. And that brings me to the end of what I wanted to say. I welcome Wayne again. I thank all of you for coming, and I want to congratulate in advance the winners of the faculty awards and the Vice Chancellor's main prize, and just reinforce again the fact that we have come a long way. I do want to thank members of staff for the work they do, but I also want to get the point across that this is almost like an escalator. We have to keep on moving forward. And the road ahead is even more exciting than the road we have traveled. Thank you very much.